Hey, Jesus, you're not even close to framed up. I could see
There it
you
is.
when we were doing the music, and you're framing
I
it.
was
I'm like,
hoping you were going to say anything.
the top of the frame was at your eyebrows, Mo. I'm back. We didn't do this last week because I was on vacation, and my wife was mad enough at me for doing shows while we were on vacation, trying to get
You
some
were not caring about
yellowtail
that.
tacos in my belly, hanging out on the San Diego shore. I lost my ass at the horse track. I won on the last race, though. That's all that matters. It's not how you start; it's how you finish. And
Yeah,
my
I believe
gal,
that.
Knicks go wire to wire. My wife was just riding me about that because my horse had the lead at the quarter turn, the half mile, everything, and I'm like, "Oh, we're dead. We're dead. I don't need this," because I didn't know if it'd be able to hold everyone off. So, but no, wire to wire winner, never in doubt. Closed off at
Beautiful.
like a $4.50 horse. Kind of
Okay.
saved the vacation. Now we're back. I'm in Minnesota. You're out there in Vegas, and we're gonna talk some markets today, as I do
Markets,
have
baby.
the WynnBET. What's the official name of the company? I feel like I threw an interactive in there. I don't think that's part of it.
Yeah, I think it's just WynnBET. I think we could just leave it at that. We could
Yeah,
just keep that on it. Keep flying. I think that's good enough.
I wanted it to be a cooler name, but WynnBET, senior trader, backroom guy. He looks like a backroom guy. He's the kind of
My
guy you keep
God,
away from the
jeez.
customers.
Yes,
And
well, that's pretty true.
yeah, I mean he's crunching the numbers, he's setting the markets, he's adjusting for you hosers out there who are trying to take advantage of his weak Sunday openers on college football that are getting beat up, but they still like it. And
Hey,
honestly,
man, we're
before
here.
we
We're
get
here
into
to
the
serve. We're here to serve no matter what.
before we get into the games, there was some WynnBET slander this week in some of my chats. A couple
My
people
God.
weren't happy about how early you opened day one basketball because some of those numbers moved 4 points, and he's like, "No, we needed to open up tomorrow, and then we get to, and then we can beat it up at the PPHs." But no, I do appreciate you guys opening up markets early and being sticking your neck out there. You want to talk some football? We're gonna do basketball today too. Let's get weird.
Yeah, let's get it all together. I think we're like in the middle of the month where it's all of it's happening at once. So I'm glad to talk about it all.
Yeah. All right, Cincy. Maybe a playoff team, probably not a playoff team, just based on how things work. Taking on South Florida, big. It's not like the NFL. We got some 10-point road favorites, but this is college. You can be as big of a favorite as your imagination lets you be. They're a
Simple.
23-point favorite on the road, 58.5. What's the scuttlebutt on this one?
We opened 23.5. I think our number was around 23. I think I had a little bit lower, like 21.5. I've been trying to adjust to Cincinnati not playing, as hard as they, seem to be on TV where, they're going to play for style points and they're barely beating teams like Tulsa and Tulane. So, I'm trying to adjust it as best as I can. Well, we opened 23.5, total 59. We're at 23 right now, 58.5. I just keep asking, like, is Cincy able to cover any of these big, spreads? It seems like it's kind of a big deal, and booking towards the dog seems like more of a thing for me, especially going forward.
See, I mean, you're just you want to book this and take some Cincinnati money, is what you're telling me. You're not
Sure,
scared.
yeah.
You're not taking it. You're not scared of taking Bearcat money, since everyone you want to book towards the dog. I like it.
Yeah, no, we've essentially been taking, and anytime we get like somewhat of a big dog, they're going to take shots at an 11-1 or a 10-1 shot. So we've seen some South Florida money line bets, but the majority, it's like 60 or 70% of the ticket counts on Cincinnati.
And the thing is, those people are like, not only are you doing the old South Florida money line, they're throwing it in a parlay. So
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
even if you win, you lose. Like they're throwing it in a 3-team college dog parlay or something. Which sometimes was it.
Yeah, it's funny. It's just like those will sneak up on you occasionally because you'll forget, if South Florida wins the game, right? later on, like the Lakers will win and cover, and like it'll be like a Lakers and South Florida bomb that hits, and you see it on the liability, and you just kind of laugh at those type of things.
Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about you guys. You're not going anywhere. All right, up to my neck of the way, my nape of the woods. Michigan still ranked, college football playoff ranked ahead against a team they lost to. They're ahead of going to Happy Valley to take on the State Penn here. Slight favorite on the road, low total because it's the Big Ten and that's how things work. What are you just going to take action on this because it's got a number in front of it?
Yeah, that's essentially what it is.
That's how that works. Yeah.
Well, like the number and the two teams are going to, generate as much action as they should. We had it as a pick. We ended up opening Michigan 1, which was like kind of market, which, we took like Penn State bets immediately. It ended up being the Penn State 1, and then just got bet back, immediately. So money's at Michigan 1, Penn State 1 pick. All the way back. It's just a lot of two-way. It's just the money's almost even, but a few more tickets are on Michigan going. I'm assuming we're going to need Penn State before kicking a game like this.
Yeah, and to be fair, like if a team is -1, and I'm not going to remove the VIG from the market, but if a team's -1 and they're -20 on the money line, like that, they're like a 54% favorite.
Exactly.
So if that flips. And the other team is a 54% favorite. I mean, you're talking like you're flipping around on like a 7 or 8% win probability difference. Like it's not some massive move. It's just you take the 0 out of there. Very rarely will these games end in ties. I'll put that out in the world right now and bless it because it's just not how things work. And we got to talking about college overtimes early, so I don't want any part of this game. I don't even want to watch this one.
No, you're going to watch it. I don't know.
There's better 11 o'clock games. We got Northwestern Wisconsin on. That's a much better game.
Let's just keep moving on then.
All right. So small favorite, big favorite.
Yeah.
Alabama, slightly bigger favorite. How do you book something like this? How do you even start with this? Like you just take your numbers and slap it on the wall, see what the market says because it's so big.
Like me and a couple of guys in the back, like our numbers are like 56, 58. And you got to just kind of cut that down a little bit in a game where like it's almost not meaningless to Alabama because every game means something to Saban. But, just to be in the ballpark range, 50 points is a lot of points to cover no matter who you are. So, we've been at 52. We opened essentially the top of the market and we're still there. So we opened 52. We're still at 52. I think we're the only place out with the money line right now. I feel like we got dogged on earlier with the I think we had New Mexico State at 75-1, and right now we bumped them up to 500-1. So if anybody would like to come bet that, they can come here to WynnBET. We'll take 500-1 on San Marcos, or not San Marcos, but Las Cruces all day, every day.
What's your limit on that?
Oh, I don't. It's
like to win 10
every time. Every time we take a bet, like we bump our liability limit up on that game alone. So 10K should be good enough on that. We'll take 10. We'll take to win 10.
To win 10, you're not taking 10.
Yeah, we're not taking 10K on.
I'm trying to do math on that quick. Yeah. Hey, guess what? Somebody won $5 million on New Mexico State. Right, because Bryce Young missed the bus today. I'm not even sure that would do it.
The whole Alabama team had COVID. And New Mexico State is now like a pick or whatever. But yeah, I mean 500 to
switch teams. Yeah, 500-1 though. Yeah. You need to put that out into the universe. You should maybe thump your chest a little. Put that on Twitter. Be like, you think you want the dog in this one? 30-1. Other places, come here. 500-1. I'll give it to you.
Well, I think we just got somewhat not dogged on 75-1, but it didn't seem as appealing when like some other people posted it. So we ended up just kind of, juicing a little bit. So, it's almost like a laugh. And, just because we had it at 75-1 and it's, better to throw a 500-1 for the public, for the kids.
Yeah. And not just because I'm stuck in the world of win probabilities. I mean, the difference between 75-1 dog and a 500-1 dog is like 1% win probability. Like, it pays a lot. It's funny. It's just the payout. Like the payout's the appealing part.
100%. Yeah, it's not as massive, but the look of 500-1 is like
No, that's what I'm saying.
what's more
It's eye
appealing. Yeah,
popping. It's eye
exactly. Yeah,
popping.
yeah. No, 100%.
It's like when people get closing line value on a big dog like this, and you have to break it to them, like, buddy, like you took a dog at 40-1 and they're 30-1 now. It's like you should go run the math on that. It actually wasn't much of a move. Like, congrats and all, but you shouldn't make a poster about it. So
It's essentially just batting an eyelash at it again. Essentially,
eyelash was batted. The pros. Cardinals maybe getting some Kyler back, probably getting some Hopkins back. I'm pretty sure both those guys are going to play. I wanted your opinion on this because I've seen this Cardinals team, and you see teams like this, maybe not for a whole season, but for 5 to 8 week stretches where you see a team where it's like, man, somebody in the market early in the year, somebody in the market was betting Washington every week. Early in the year, there was somebody that liked Philly. Like, there's always teams like that. And it seems like the market as a whole is not afraid to back Arizona as a big favorite against some of these lesser teams. I think I believe it was the Houston game, they got bet up. And we've seen that in other markets, like against Houston again. Buffalo got, what was it? Houston money came in all week. And then like day of game and Saturday, maybe even you've seen Buffalo get bet up to like -19 versus Houston. So, I mean, is that what you're seeing here with Arizona? Are you getting money on a big favorite again, or?
Yeah, I think we've discussed our boy Sawyer. He had this game a little bit higher, obviously, with Kyler Murray. Guns, the young guns. He had, I think, 12 and a half. We're thinking maybe a little bit higher than that because, a week of rest. And Kyler Murray was probably ready to go. And, this is a bigger game for him. Panthers are starting P.J. Walker. Nothing against him, but, the Panthers just been on the back end of this. But we've gotten sharp bets on Panthers, but we've just been battling between back and forth between 10 and a half, which is essentially where we opened at. So, when that move comes, when Kyler gets there, we'll be ready to make the move.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it kind of built in, or what? Without giving away too much? I mean, your number right now is assuming Kyler's in.
Exactly. Correct.
You have room to take some action on this.
Right. Like, and that's essentially like between, like, we'll take the bet at 10 and a half. We'll let, some people get down on Cardinals. They'll, scrape the 10, late 10, and then, we'll just be back and forth between 10 and a half. So, like, essentially right now we're like halfway to where we want to be when Kyler gets announced in.
I'm fine. I'm fine with that. He's gonna get announced in. He's just fine. He'll make it. We're gonna get there, guys. Yeah. Cowboys, Falcons. Cowboys had a bad game last week, huh?
Yeah.
Wasn't great.
Not the best.
Not the best. This is your get right spot against just a sad franchise who's had some decent weeks this year. Sorry, Dad. Did that while Dan was taking a drink to try to get his goat. But the aforementioned Falcons have had some weird games where it's, I think, like 3 or 4 games where Matt Ryan looks pretty good. They still seem to give up weird leads. Dan says, "I will mute you." That's fun. Dallas,
PTI style.
Nobody's making. I should give you points. Beep beep. There's nobody's making a big adjustment off one game, but Mr. Smith up there on the front line of the offensive line is appearing to be out again. This total, I've seen this open. This is a total we talked about on Sunday night, Drew and I. Nice. There were 51 and a halves in this market.
Yeah, I seen that.
This got bet up. I mean, he said this is going to go up. It did. Little resistance at 55. What are you seeing on this total? Or actually, did you want to talk about the side? I don't remember.
No, it was the total. Yeah, and this is something that I mean, like with a lot of Cowboys totals, I've seen just get steamed. So, I mean, we tried to stay on the higher side of this. I think we opened 52 and a half, which was over the key numbers, a couple of the key numbers, obviously. But, yeah, we were ahead of it. We still took a bunch of sharp bets early in the week to get us to 54 and a half now. I don't think we've reached 55, so we haven't got any of the buyback there. We were just happy to be ahead of the 51 and a half, 52, to be where we're at now. So I think it's real. I mean, for the respect that we've seen on that total, I see the over being a really good play here. We're just waiting for maybe some possible buyback later in the week to accumulate some of the stuff we already took on the way back over.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of where we ended up. We just said if you wanted this total, why not just grab it early? even at the lower limits, you're going to get a better number. This feels like it's going to just, and it's weird too. You can take some of the context from games and do whatever you want with them. But man, that last Falcons game, that was a dead nut under. And then the fourth quarter happened. It was like
They scored 22 in the fourth. Well, the Saints did alone scored 22 in the fourth.
32-point fourth quarter in a game that had been trending wildly under for a while. So congrats to overbackers. I guess everyone gets every squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Of course.
In the NFC West, we talked about almost the three quarters of the NFC West here. Rams, Niners, Rams on the short end of the stick the other week. Niners looking kind of like a team that maybe was on the wrong part of the spectrum of where they think they are. Or, you get those teams that think they're a Super Bowl contender and they're not. And apparently they should be in more of a rebuild. I'm not sure what's ailing this team, but the market not having it this week. Rams, even off an ugly game here, 3.5-point road favorite. Where'd you open this?
We opened at 4. And we knew, I think our number was around 4 as it was. Our Sawyer likes Niners a little bit. We crept down to 3.5, which is essentially the market now. OBJ is not worth – it's not going to be worth much to this, just to get that out there to really any of the futures that we have or whatever for any questions like that.
Can I time out you there? What did you move your Rams number to off of the OBJ news?
We went from 8 to 1.
What was your adjustment?
8 to 1 to 8 to 1. So it was a pretty big move. We were panicking in the back on what we were going to do.
You pulled it off? I'm assuming you pulled it off the board for a while and then reopened it. You should have.
No, we were okay. We were more because we seen the shit. One of our buddies, Andy, who works with us, he sent us the news in our Slack, and I remember we were like, all right, and then we just went about our day. We were just kind of like, all right, good for the Rams.
You should do this on one of these though, where it's a splashy move that means nothing. You pull it off the board, and you tweet that you pulled it off the board. You said, with the news of OBJ being signed in LA, we're pulling the Rams futures off the board. It'll be up in a while. And then you post it at the same number again. Make a big to-do about that. Just to really spit in his eye.
That's the move. Yeah, that's the move. I like that.
That's the publicity move. I'm just trying to get you guys a little juice there in the socials. So, all right. I don't remember what we were talking about here. You were talking about the side.
No. Yeah, so it's essentially been split on the money, but we've seen a bunch of Rams tickets come in. I've been so much on betting the teams with the injuries. I mean, this has been working personally. And the time I like the Niners, even with all the injuries and stuff like that, they end up blowing it against the Cardinals in the worst way. So, not like I want to just go with the Niners, but it's just probably a decent spot for them after blowing it the way they did. I think Shanahan's had the Rams number since he's been there. Being at 3.5 is fine for us, even if we're taking these Rams tickets.
Yeah, this is a game I didn't have a strong opinion on when we went through it on Wednesday. I didn't want any part of this, I don't think. I think I said maybe a little lean at the +4, just because we'd made a joke early in the season about Drew and I, that is. We said, what if we just bet the dog in every NFC West divisional matchup all year long? What would we go? 70% probably. That's just how that's going to work. I mean,
right now I think that's crushing now.
Yeah, I think it's probably crushing. I'm going to go back and check that after the show. I'm going to actually have maybe the stats department is looking into that right now. I don't know. Oh, no, he's leaning back. I'm teasing him. It's Friday afternoon here, guys. FCS football. Did you have any winners while I was gone?
Well, yes, I did have winners when you were gone.
Or has it just been this god-awful streak of garbage?
Central Connecticut has saved me at least 3 or 4 times since we've had all this debacle going on. Unfortunately, I didn't use them because I know when I use them, it's going to be brutal. I came back on North Alabama. Thank you for sending me that Kennesaw State score from a couple weeks ago. I did appreciate that. That was awesome. I don't have much of an explanation. Look, this North Alabama team's good. I know they only have 2 wins, but this is such a big game for them at home to at least prove in the conference against a team like Kennesaw, who's been a wrecking ball. That 9 points is just a little bit too much. I think they'll get the best effort out of the Lions. I think they're going to be there in this game to cover the 9.
What's Kennesaw State's mascot?
The Owls. They play better at
Owls.
night.
Oh, yeah, that's a dumb one. Bryce, Temple, they have the Owls. Like, you can't all just be the Owls. All right, promise basketball. We'll get to some basketball. I'm just kind of glossing over that. I'm not betting that. That's not going to win.
You're going to bet it. You're going to.
We're going to.
I'll call you when this is happening.
All right. Which part of Alabama was that, north or south?
The north part. The northern part of Alabama.
Lions +9. All right, it's on the card. I'm going to be so mad when this loses now.
Valpo got there last week, and you didn't do the show. I was like, he didn't do the show on purpose because finally won. I was like, man.
I was off munching on fish tacos and drinking local craft beers.
That's fair. I'm okay with that. I gave you a pass.
Hitting the scene.
If you're in La Jolla, I can't get mad at you, my man. Ever.
Oh my God. Just hanging out with Sea Lions. It was pretty nice.
I love Sea Lions.
Yeah, everyone loves Sea Lions. All right, basketball season is upon us. How's it going for you? How's the action been on your end for the first few days of the NCAA basketball scheduled season opening? Besides,
a lot.
Is he getting a lot?
It's a lot. It's yeah, man. I mean, there's so many people that are hitting these soft lines. I mean, it's just as soon as the first 2 sports books opened up their lines and there was any type of differences, it was 100,000 moves that needed to be made. Just difference of opinions, all that stuff, sharp stuff coming in. Every morning is a battle. So it's a lot. It's fun to see, and it's good to see the action coming in. But man, it's something else.
You don't have any auto movers. Everything's manual over at the WynnBET.
No. We do have the auto movers, but glancing through it. Yeah, so we're fine. Yeah, we're okay. We got the auto movers, but I mean, for God's sakes, even going back and just seeing it, maybe making a few moves, it's still a lot no matter what.
God, I'm gonna swing by there next time. I want to see what's going on. What happens? Just behind the counter look here. Do you get some alert? Be like, hey, the auto mover moved this total 5 points because it's nothing but action on one. And then you go and then you get some report and it says this account hit it for the max, this account, and then you have to make some judgment calls where you should make more of a move or you should move back a little or what?
Well, the alert really is just watching the ticker, because sometimes it won't be a big move. It will be a no move. Sometimes it'll just be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 accounts is double popping a total when it should be they'll be double hit a total that's 145. It should be 150, and that's when we're okay, we got to go over there and move that ourselves. So there will be a lot of screaming, 962 over, a lot of stuff like that. Just people screaming out weird numbers. It's almost like a stock market, but not really. I can't really explain it, but it's
that's
just
what
a lot
I'm picturing.
going on.
I'm picturing the stock market. It's like Boiler Room up in that joint. And you're Ben Affleck.
Yeah, a little bit. That's it. I've been called Ben Affleck many times in my life.
I'm more of a Casey Affleck guy. I've been called Scott Kahn, who was also in a movie with those guys. Basketball. Jesus. I can see it. Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's fine. Pittsburgh at West Virginia. This is a Friday night game. This is tonight.
Yes.
You didn't really tell me what you want to talk. You just said I got some college basketball I want to talk about. You want to talk about the market, or you got an opinion? Well, you probably did.
No,
I don't read all your tweets.
Not much of an opinion. This is one of the ones that I've seen. We opened 139.5. I think it opened maybe 142 overnight, something give or take. But I just wanted to explain the total now being 133.5. We've seen a few pretty sharp groups hit 137.5, 135.5. So. We try to get to it. We try to air move it as quick as we can, especially in a game like this, 2 teams with I think they play at a lower tempo. West Virginia, for sure, more defense than anything. I watched them play against Oakland in their first game. I think that's right. But anyway, trying to get ahead of these games, especially totals like this one in particular, where the sharp side, moves 4, 5, 6 points. That's something that I want to explain, just on the market movers. I felt like it was a big deal for a game like this, personally.
Yeah, you got a RAS sub or what?
That could be one of the guys that got down. I mean, it's like a bunch of different groups that probably either are seeing it on a different ticker, just playing it off of whatever. But
Playing it off the screen.
Essentially, yeah.
That's the problem with those screen cleaners. Like they can take it too far. You don't want to get too crazy with those moves. All right, what was the other one? So you're not betting this? I thought you were giving me a pick.
No, we'll give out picks later when the Metro Atlantic gets cooking. I'll probably on Harris tonight against Columbia.
A top 10 tilt. This one is so late. Actually, I might stay out late. I might go on a date with the wife, so I might be up late tonight. Nova at UCLA. I'm assuming that's just like John Wooden Court or something. I'm sure that's what they call it in John Wooden Arena there in the Palisade. I don't know the names of many arenas. There's too many of those. I barely know the mascots. UCLA -3. This is a little bit of a lower total for some good teams. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you think? What's the scuttlebutt? Again, more scuttlebutt.
Yeah, I think more or less it was the dog getting hit earlier at 4.5 and 4. So sharp opinions took Villanova, and it got us down to 3 right now. And we've just seen a bunch of two-way. Really, I was just kind of going to go over this if anyone was watching to let them know, like 3 was essentially like one of the sharper numbers that I've seen on the board, and it's probably going to close 3. So, in a game like this, if anyone wants to lay or take, you're probably late to the party on something like this.
Well, a lot of good you are.
I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty solid. Like, hey, I don't know if I'm going to lay 3, whatever the case is. I don't really have much of a lean. I at least wanted to talk about some type of college basketball. I figured you'd have some type of take on Villanova or the Bruins. Oh, my God. Yeah, if it was like
UCLA screwed up so many brackets and draws and like Calcutta's for me. That whole run was and I think they messed with my Gonzaga juju. So that team's kind of dead to me. I haven't bet any college basketball hardly. I bet like 3-4 games total, just kind of some off market stuff I've found based on just surfing around the World Wide Webs.
www.
Some of these internet sites that have betting lines on them. So I'm still working on getting my 2021-2022 college basketball model all jazzed up, and then we will be betting into the MAC, and by MAC I mean MAC with
MAC,
yeah,
and
the MEAC and the SWAC and the Atlantic Sun and the SoCon and the Southland and the WAC and the Big West.
Is ASUN with the Jacksonville in it? That's the only team.
Jacksonville State's an ASUN team. I'm just seeing if I can name all the conferences. The Big West, baby.
Big West will be Anteaters will be a big deal.
UC Irvine. So, all right. Well, if you have anything else to ask Mr. Motoi Pearson, he is on Twitter at Heed These Takes. You can find him there. Heed them. Heed these takes. You can see him if you go out to Las Vegas. You'll probably see him.
I'll be around. I could be on Boulder Highway. I could be downtown.
Posting up.
Summerlin. Yeah, chilling. Always.
Check him out if he's at a craps table, or excuse me, a roulette table. Don't play the numbers he plays. And
get me out of there. That's a good warning. Like if you see me there, get me. Yeah, that's.
I should have just helped you out there. You'd be richer to this day.
Oh my God, it would have been gone that night.
All right. So I'll let you get on with your weekend. You got to be just about done with your work day. I know you went in early. You're a hardworking man. You're probably putting in 5/10s though. So a few more hours of work on to the weekend. Let's get off to a big first Saturday in college basketball. I'm sure you got a busy day tomorrow. So thank you for joining me today, and we'll catch you next Friday.
Thank you, everyone.
Let's crack it. Give us a thumbs up.